Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. There is a lot going on this morning. We'll get to the walkouts in just a moment. But first, we have breaking news from overnight.
That is Jacqueline Kirby, the communications officer with the El Paso County Sheriff, wrapping up that news conference there. You heard a distinctly different tone from the sheriff today that I think it's fair to say than yesterday. Don't get me wrong, this fire is still large. We're talking about 41,000 acres already burned and flames are still going. But yesterday he was saying that Mother Nature one-upped all of the firefighters there. Today they have more resources, air resources, hundreds of firefighters on scene, and he's confident they may be able to make some progress today.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about how helpful it was to have Fort Carson there helping them, to have someone go up in the air, take a look at what flames are causing the most trouble and how they can put this thing out. The other thing he said, just to give you an idea of how fast that wind was yesterday and how big of a problem it was, he said one of his deputies was driving along at 35 miles per hour and that wind was going, or the flames were going faster than him, which is just amazing. I mean, they were up against something so big. Another round of rain and hail swept through parts of southern Colorado, likely while you were sleeping.
These pictures behind us are from yesterday when, a lot of people went through a pretty rough time.
One family is changing the way that they get deliveries after a thief took off with their kids' Christmas presents.
Putting on the jacket backwards is a really neat idea. I hadn't thought of that one yet, but I bet that my toddler wouldn't keep it on. We're going to start with that 11 breaking news alert. A Colorado Springs police officer is fighting for their life right now after getting shot early this morning. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says a suspect who they believe shot the officer was also shot by police.
Let's go to 11 News reporter Kyla Gaylor. Sorry, Kyla, thanks so much. It's, hearing from Jackie with the Sheriff's Office, they're still, I'm sure, mourning the death of Michael Flick back in February. So hoping that this officer pulls through. And
we will know that here, hopefully a little bit more about that coming up at 6:30. We have continuing coverage of our 11 breaking news alert. We'll begin with a live look at Memorial Hospital this morning, where Colorado Springs Police Chief Pete Carey is set to address the community about the condition of an officer injured in a shooting just east of downtown Colorado Springs this morning. We know that officer is in surgery or has been in surgery.
We've just learned that the suspect, who was also injured, has non-life-threatening injuries. Of course, we're waiting on how that officer is doing. The best news we could get is that that officer is going to be okay.
For those that are just waking up and joining us here at 6:53, we've been staying on top of an 11 breaking news alert. 12 people were killed overnight when a gunman opened fire at a bar in California west of LA. That figure of 12 includes a deputy who rushed in to confront the shooter. The gunman is also dead. That shooting happened at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California, which was hosting a college country night. The bar is about 20 miles away from Pepperdine University. The university does confirm this morning that some of its students were in the bar at the time.
We know that both the president and the acting attorney general have both been briefed on this. I know Adam mentioned the deputy who was killed, Sergeant Ron Hellis. We learned from our sister station just now that there's a procession being planned for 10 a.m. their time, so 11 a.m. here, to take his body away.
Here's what experts say happens. You're shopping, you find a site with great deals, often a lot cheaper than prices on more established websites. Everything looks legitimate, so you decide to take a chance and make a purchase. But what happens after checkout is the problem here.
Here's a question for the shoe shoppers out there. How much would you pay for a pair of Payless shoes?
Some people online think they're worth as much as $600, but only when the brand was disguised.
This is my issue with women's fashion. It's so difficult.
Yeah. We could all learn something from this bear.
I think we can.
Just take a little time to relax. And one more for the win column in the coffee
I like
drinkers.
that column. I like the win column.
Kids and families.
Big celebration, and also a celebration of you being cancer-free. That's huge. Great.
Yes.
Kayla, thanks for being here.
Only 9% of all plastic packaging is being recycled. That blows my mind, 9%, because there's so much. Most of it really just ends up in landfills or oceans.
That number seems really low on the amount of recycling because there's so many programs across the country and around the world, really, where people are, being encouraged to recycle plastic.
Right, no, but don't throw away your ticket if you don't match all 6 numbers, because you could still win something, even if it's a couple bucks.
Yeah, take that.
I know, I'm waiting for that trip to Italy.
There you go. That's actually not a bad idea.
You know what happens to all of the Halloween candy for employees here? It ends up on the desk in the newsroom.
Or employees' stomachs, yeah.
Kindergartners learned sign language to surprise one of the school's custodians on his birthday. Take a look. He's hearing impaired, but the smile on his face says it all when these kids did that for him.
He had to be so happy. What a gift.
And what a great thing to teach kids as well.
That's true. That could go a long way in their lives.
He said that some people are going back into their homes right now, but he urges them to be careful because things could change at any second. So they're keeping an eye on all of that. And again, that next update is going to come at noon, so we'll bring that to you live as well.
We'll see you in just a little bit. In the meantime, you can stay up to date at KKTV.com and through our social media.